Now, don't worry, I'm not going to do a unboxing. I hate unboxing videos. I think they serve no purpose. Who cares about a box, really? The whole idea of unboxing videos are just moronic, in my opinion. If there's something cool inside the box, then show us the cool thing inside the box. Don't show us you opening a box. So I won't put you through that torture. So, what am I going to talk about today? Well, I'm very excited because my new headphones have come in. Yay! So these are made by Earfun. If you don't know who Earfun is, it's a Chinese company, and I heard people say good things about it, and I wanted to check them out because my last Chinese headphones I bought I was very, very happy with, and those were the Soundpeats. So I wanted to see how well these would stack against the Soundpeats. So let's have a quick look and see how they do. So like I said, these are made by Earfun. They're the Earful Pro 3.3. Something I like to do as a test seems like a silly little thing, but it's something that I find important, is the shake test. And what I mean by the shake test is this. If I shake it, will the thing open? And that can be important because sometimes maybe you're going for a run or something and you have this strapped to your side, you're running, and all of a sudden the case opens and, your headphones or your earpods fall out. And that's not fun to have. Then you have to go back and hope that you can find them and no one's taken them or they haven't become broken. So this passes that test. Very good. See, I'm shaking. It's not opening by itself. Now, one thing it did come with was this extra outside casing that basically makes most of this thing waterproof. I wish it would go and cover the USB-C, or there's a flap here and here and here to make it completely waterproof. But, if I'm getting caught in a storm, then, I'm going to be safe. So let's have a look at the headphones themselves. As you can see, the headphones are not that big. And again, I'm going to do another shake test here. They stay in. So even if the first layer breaks and it opens up, I'm pretty confident these are not going to fall out at any time. And they look like this. Now, there's two models, just to let you know. There's these ones, which are smaller, and then you have other ones, which are a little bit longer. Some people like the long ones because it's easy to pull out and you're not touching the controls by mistake, which I understand, but they do protrude. So if you want to listen to music at work and you don't want your boss to see you, those long ones won't help you, but these ones are well hidden. As you can see here, they've got these little indents, and I wish more earpods had it like this, because these are like the touch controls. I find with lots of earpods that are like bumped over, it's hard to control them. Here, you can feel where it is, and it's easy to press, and you know where to press to get that control. Sometimes you're just pressing anywhere and hoping that the music will stop or is going to go to the next track, and if you're not touching in the right place, which is hard to find, it doesn't work. So like I said, these are the two headphones, and again, one thing I like, it might seem simple, but you got your left and your right. With AirPods, sometimes you put them in the wrong way and it doesn't feel right, and you'd be surprised how many headphones don't tell you which one's left and which one's right. So it's a small detail, but I like it. The casing itself, it doesn't feel like the highest quality, but they feel light and they feel at least durable enough for them to work and not break. Speaking of the case earlier, this waterproofing, one reason why I got these is my other headphones had an IPX rating of 3. Now, what an IPX rating is, if you don't know what that is, an IPX rating tells you how resilient it is to the water and the elements. It goes from 1 to 8. So you have an IPX rating of, let's say, 2. You really can't get them wet or around any dirt or grime, or they'll quite easily break. But if you have an IPX rating of 8, and this can vary from company to company, you have to read the small print, what they guarantee. But for the most part, you can probably swim in those for about 20 minutes and they still work okay. Of course, the Bluetooth wouldn't work that well, but you can get in a downpour. So an IPX rating of 5 and 6, I think, is kind of good because you can get caught out in a storm. They're splash proof, they're pretty much dirt proof, and they won't be breaking on you, and that's what I wanted. My old headphones, my earpods, I had a problem where I'd go play basketball and all of a sudden one channel stopped working because the sweat got in it. And while the Soundpeats had a really good sound quality, I can't do any sports when I'm listening to that. So that made them more like a stay-at-home or a leisurely walk sounding AirPods. Now let's see how they fit in. So I can just put them in like this. And they fit pretty well. They're very, very lightweight and they're very, very comfortable. Like I just got these, so let's do a head shake. See, still in, still working just fine. They're very, very comfortable. They do come with 6 different kind of cushions for your sides for your ears, and 6 different wingtips to help keep on your ears. So the next test is I wanted to see how well the stop the ambient sound works. And, basically what that means is how much of the sound from outside will filter in when you're listening to music. Now this does have 3 options. I'm going to show you the list on the app that they have. But you can have wind reduction, you can have some ambient sound, you can have no stop sound, and you can have, stop all the sound. And they worked really well. I was in the underground and I heard nothing but my music.
That lived above the buildings that I was hustling from, that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. And all the niggas in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine.
And when I put it onto the ambient, I could hear just enough where I could hear where the stop was, but I could still hear my music. And of course, when I put it on no filter at all, I could hear quite a bit of outside sound, so I'd have to turn the volume up a bit on my music in order to hear it, but that's to be expected. I haven't had a real good chance to test out the wind one yet, so maybe later on when I do my 3-month review, I'll do that. So let's just look at the app here. As you see, you've got noise cancelling here, you've got normal, and you've got ambient sound. Now, noise cancelling does what it says, ambient sound just has a little sound come in, and normal is just like normal. You've got wind noise cancelling, you've got game mode, which there's less lag between the screen and what you hear. You've got your left and your right, and this is how you can control it. You can actually change what touches does what, which is really cool actually, because if you don't like it all left, you can put it all right. That's a really cool feature actually. This is your Bluetooth audio quality. It has a great codec for listening to music. As you see up there, it shows your left, your right, and the case how much electricity is left. Here's your equalizers. As you can see, there's a lot of different equalizers you can do, but I like to set my own EQ. I like to customize it. What else do we have here? I'm still getting used to this. Like I said, this is normal. This is just going into the information, what it is. The microphones you can put onto left, right, and both middle. You can connect to 2 things at the same time, change the language if you want. The 2 things at the same time is really cool. So if I'm watching something on my phone and I want to listen to music right after that on my computer, it can switch seamlessly. See, it's connected to my phone right now. So yeah, there's really quite a lot going on in this app, but as I'm about to explain, there are some drawbacks. So as you can see, the app has many features. The problem I have with this compared to the Soundpeats would be this. The Soundpeats, when I went to the equalizer, the EQ, would have vastly different sounds when I'm listening to it. But when I go through the different EQs on this, they sound pretty much identical. The good news is you can have up to 5 different personalized EQs, and that's what I recommend. I like to set my own EQ system and have that sound. I just realized when I took them out, the audio recording might have been coming from the headphones, which weren't in my ears at the time. So if it sounded a little bit glitchy, that's why, because it's away from my head. Speaking of that, I did a couple of tests, making some calls using these to see how the microphones worked. The first test, which I'm going to put up here, I think did exceedingly well, far exceeded my expectations, because let's face it, earbuds, the microphones can be a little bit janky because they're so small, it's understandable. However, this test I'm going to put on here, I was in the middle of a rainstorm. I was under an umbrella in the middle of the city with lots of people walking and talking and cars and traffic passing by. And while my voice might sound a little bit tinny, you can still understand what I'm saying. So let's run that test. Okay, so I had to go inside because it started raining, but luckily these things held up just fine. So the IPX seems to work well on these. So who are these headphones for? Well, they're for somebody who's on a bit of a budget. Fair enough. Look, for 300 to 400 RMB, you're not going to get, full metal casings, things like that. However, the plastic feeling just feels strong enough, and it feels durable enough, and it makes it feel really light and really comfortable in the ears. Like I wore these yesterday all day, and my ears never got hot, never felt pressure or started to hurt, so that's really good. These are for people who maybe want a bit more bass in the headphones. Now, normally I'm not a big bass head, but a lot of my headphones are more centered towards either the trebles or the mid-range, and I don't really have a good pair mainly for bass. So it does well with the bass area. Of course, if you can customize your EQ, you can change it how you like. And that's the good thing is the middles, when you change the EQ, do sound pretty good. The voices are a bit further back than I'd want, but they're still forward enough and they sound pretty centered. The trebles are nice and crisp and clear, so that's nice to hear. And just the general audio quality is really, really good. Now, how does this stack compare to Soundpiece, which would be a competitor for about the same price? I think overall, if you know what you're doing with the EQ, these can sound better. However, if you just want to quickly hit preset EQ or something like that, then the Soundpiece probably have these beat out. However, this is more to do with some firmware, so this could always change in the future. It's not a hardware issue, so it's not going to be limited by the headphones at the moment. It's just more limited to the firmware and how the software interacts with the headphones. Now, as a comparison to a more higher up level, look, their sound quality is as good as, let's say, some Sennheisers or something like that. No, it's not going to be that. I mean, you're talking about a pair of headphones or earbuds that's between 6,000 to 10,000 RMB compared to 300 to 400 RMB. Is the noise cancellation as good as, let's say, the Bose? Not as good as the Bose, but it is pretty close. I tried the Bose a couple of years ago, the 2020 model earbuds, and honestly, I thought they're a bit underperformed for me. The sound quality is there, but for Bose, I was expecting more. What do these beat, in my opinion? I think these beat the Beats by Dr. Dre. Honestly, I'm not just talking about price ratio. I mean, I'm talking about the clarity of the sound and how a lot of the devices work and ease of use. I put these in and they're connected before I even have a chance to put them in my ear. So the connection is very stable. It uses 5.3, so I can be kind of far away in between walls and still have the sound. So I got my phone in one room and be listening when I'm cleaning the house or something like that, and that's not a problem. The good thing about this, as I mentioned, you can connect it to multiple devices. I would put these closer to the range of some of the Sonys, like the Sony 400s, in terms of the sound quality and how they feel in your ear, which is a very good thing. I love my Sony headphones, and if this price of headphones is close to that or about the same, that's a great steal. And that's the thing I want to say about Chinese headphones recently, RG. They've really, really got really good. I mean, it used to be, even just a few years ago, I wouldn't ever consider even buying a pair of Chinese headphones. Either the sound quality wasn't there or they'd break pretty easy. But these feel steady. The sound quality is definitely there. I've tried a few different Chinese brands now, and mostly I've really enjoyed it. It's been a very enjoyable experience. So that calls into the question, is paying the money for the premium headphones these days for a brand recognition still worth it? Well, in some cases are. If you're a real audiophile like I am sometimes, I always want to have a really good pair of headphones just to pick up on those details that something like these won't pick up on, or hear that midline in tracks that you won't hear, like my Sony's or my Sennheisers. They got the spatial sound and they pick up things magnificently. It's just the smallest little tweaks here and there, and they're just fantastic. But again, they're way more premium and you can be paying a premium price. So I say these headphones are for people who want to do some exercise, mild exercise, people who want decent audio, and people want something that could last for a while, not get broken being out in the rain or being out in the elements. So out of 10, I'd give these 9.5, and most of that deduction is just because of the equalizers problems. I don't think there's much there, but again, that is a firmware thing that they can fix. So we're going to see what we're going to do with that. I am tempted to try and get some really cheap headphones and start reviewing those and see what those are like. But anyway, I highly recommend these. If you're looking for a decent pair of earbuds that has good noise cancellation, decent sound, will last when you exercise, or if they have a tumble, they're not going to break, these are definitely the way to go. So again, that is the Earfun. I got the Pro 3s, but I hear even the Pro 2s are good, and even the non-Pro systems are very good, and you can get them at a reasonable price. So check them out. Bye.